All right, y'all. It's been a little while. How's everybody? Let me do some sharing real quick. All right. I'm getting a little rusty there. So hang tight. Those of you who rock me, y'all know I'll take a little second to share. So, you know, it's a moment to get it all together. I'm getting ready to start pretty soon though. Promise. All right. Let me share the YouTube because we are live on not just Facebook. I'm live on YouTube as well. So if you guys, want to hop over there to support, I appreciate that. Share. Copy link. Alrighty. Okay. Let me share it to my page. All right. Okay. Now I am ready. So, give me 1 second. Let me see what to do. Okay, there we go. All right. Let me fix the way I'm sitting. So, it's been a little minute. Let me get myself together. Now, I will start by introducing myself. I am Shabreon Howard, aka Shabreon The Advocate, aka self proclaimed creative genius. I actually am a writer, author, filmmaker, photographer. Uh, I do a lot of things to bring awareness creatively um, to sickle cell, mostly, but also mental health as well. Mental health awareness is very important to me, very near and dear to me, right? So I have been doing this consistently since 2016. So that was about 7.5 years ago. I started with just an idea, and I just decided to see what I could make of it. And yeah, the rest is history, as they say. I am a 33-year-old SS warrior advocate. I am also the child of a sickle cell warrior. My mother passed away from complications of sickle cell when I was just 7 years old. I am also the mother of a lovely, I want to say she's 7, but she's actually 9 going on 10. Where does the time go? Someone tell me. She's going to be 10 this year, and she is a sickle cell trait warrior. She is an advocate in her own right. She is a caregiver. She is the love of my life. Let's give it up for Nyla. Yay! Woo! Okay. And I just, like I said, I use my gifts and my talents to bring awareness to sickle cell. I'm trying to remember my entire intro. I can't. It's going to take a little minute to get myself like, you know how Hov was like, allow me to reintroduce myself. Like, allow me to reintroduce myself. I feel like I've been gone for a long time, even though you guys have seen me. That's why we're getting into this series, so y'all can understand how my thought process is at this point. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you have any comments, feel free to put them in the chat. If you're not following me, follow me. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube. If you have not liked this video, like the video, please. Yeah, like just support. Like genuinely, I need to know like that people actually appreciate what it is I do, because life is happening, real life. You know what I'm saying? And I know everybody's going through real life, but sometimes I don't think y'all understand, like, this isn't a make-believe part of my life. Like, I literally dedicate time, energy, blood, sweat, and tears to this. And so when there are times where you can just say, oh, this is a great conversation, or I like what you said, that really lets me know that what I'm doing is appreciated and that I should continue to do it. So I just wanted to add that because that's really important. Now, I know there are some people who were very put off by by my flyer this time. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't need anyone's shock value. I've been making flyers for years. That's not the point of why I do what I do. I did it because, if I'm being completely honest, I was obeying God. This entire series, the fact that I'm sitting here right now, is me obeying God, because He's been wanting me to do this. There is somebody, you know how some people are like, oh, this is for somebody, this message is for somebody. There is somebody out there that this is going to touch that needs this message, that needs to hear it. I don't consider myself unique well, I am unique and special, but in the sense of everyone struggles with death. Everyone, the only thing that is promised to us the moment we take a breath is we are promised to die one day. Everybody. That is something everyone has in common. Very few people have died and has went to heaven and not died. So don't let me get off topic with that one. But yeah, so I'm not trying to put myself above anybody. I don't think my story is more important to hear. I think that I have the courage to tell it, and God chose me because He knows that I'm going to tell it in all the parts that may not sound, you know, the truth hurts sometimes. So I'm not going to hide or sugarcoat the truth. And I'm not coming from a place of anger or hurt or frustration. And this is why I waited, because I'm coming from a place of love. And I'm coming from a place of when you have gone through something, a near-death experience. Now, this is not my first time going through a near-death experience. I've actually been to others. Others might say I've been more closer to death than this, right? So, while every experience that you go through is based on perception and based on how you handle that specific thing that you're going through, I think even the time that I almost died in ICU, my mind was different. I was not, I was in a place of not acceptance, but it was different. I was a different age, different mentality. It was different. This was different. I'm not saying it's better, worse, whatever than anyone else's story. What I'm saying is this is my story. Everyone has the right to tell their own story. So if you're here and you're watching and you could appreciate that, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for your support. Thank you for caring. Because as someone who struggles, and again, I'm being transparent right now, as someone who struggles with dealing with not feeling loved, I deal with that. I really do. And it's not like I don't love myself. I do, right? It's more so like when you lose family members and your parents at a young age, it is it's very easy to tell when love is different. Let's put it like that. Parent love and kids loving you is different. Nobody can love me the way Nyla loves me. Nobody in this world, on this earth, can love me the way my child loves me. Just like no one could ever love me the way that my parents loved me. So that's what I meant. So, all right. So I appreciate y'all for caring. I love you for loving me. And I love you anyway if you don't love me. Now, I did take notes because I don't want to get off topic for long. I want to make sure I'm hitting certain points. That's how important this is to me. Okay? So bear with me. There will be times when I have to pause and say, okay, did I touch this? Okay. Did I go over this properly? Okay. So it's kind of like a checklist. You know, we keeping it on because you know me. I'm only gonna be here an hour. No cap. I'm here and I'm out. I got things to do. So I'm not gonna hold people too long. All right. So when I moved to Texas from California, I was in a very, very, very rough space, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I was working myself nonstop. I was in the grind. I was starting to not neglect my duties as a mother, but neglect how much time I dedicated to spending quality time. Just quality one-on-one, me and you time with my daughter. Now, yes, I've done it. I'm a single mom, so yes, she got a lot of my time, but it was, we had to go here and do this. We had to go do photo shoots. We had to go to, there was always something to do. So it started to take a toll on her, on me, on our relationship, on everything, honestly. I was in a very difficult place and time in my life. Very few people know why. I do not really talk about why, but if I'm going to sum it up, it was I had to mourn the loss of my family that were still living, if I'm being honest. That's what it was. And when that is all the immediate family you have left, and you go through so much turmoil with those people, you tend to mourn them as if you lost them. You do. As if, you know, it was a car crash or something. And so I had to process that loss. I had to understand my position. And I also went through a very difficult breakup, we'll say that, at the same time. Okay? So it was not just the loss of my family, but it was the loss of a relationship, the significant other, the father of my child. Again, these people did not die. I'm not saying these people died, but it was still the same thing. So people who were in my life for a very long time who meant the world to me. So I had to readjust. I had to learn to be fully independent in a world where it was almost impossible when you have sickle cell, because I have a child and I have to go to the hospital. So, you know what I'm saying? It was very difficult at that time. Now, when I moved to Texas, I was at a point where I needed to be in isolation. I needed mental clarity. I needed healing, mentally, physically, spiritually. I needed it. Okay? So going to Texas came at a time where it was like a breath of fresh air, because this is something it was something brand new. No one knew me. No one, you know, I had to figure things out for myself. Now, yes, was it scary? Yeah, of course it was scary. But the entire time I did it, I moved there with 2 suitcases, mine, my daughter's, and a big storage bin. That was it. We moved it to a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhome. And I was homeless. Very few people knew that. I was homeless at the time. So to go from homeless to a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath townhome, come on. Who but God was that? Okay? And it was mind blowing. It was an experience that I could never forget. I didn't know anybody. I knew one person, and that one person was the person saying, "Oh yeah, I got you. You get sick, I'll watch your child for you. I'll be there for you." This is someone that I knew for years and years and years. I visited while out there, and it's just like, okay, someone who was supposed to be my best friend is fine. See, people let you down, but God doesn't. That's the going theme for this. That's what I should have named it. That's what I should have named this series. People let you down, but God doesn't. Okay? Because the second time I got sick, that was it. There was nobody else to rely on. I had to make a way out of no way. And to this day, I don't regret moving out there. I don't feel like being in that situation and not having the support that someone promised me, right? But man is made to fail you. So I didn't go out with the full expectation anyway, right? I was always counting on God. And when I tell you, God himself carried us for 5 years. 5 years I was there. 5 years, I do not regret going, because being there taught me how to find not just mental clarity, not just peace, but it taught me how to find overall health and wellness for myself. It taught me how to look outside of the box and say, medicine is cool and all, but let's go deeper. Let's dig deeper. How do I not get sick in the first place? How do we prevent that part? Right? So if I didn't go out there and have to make sure like, under no circumstance were there any times that I was just like, oh, I'm possibly sick. No, if I'm at the hospital, I'm sick, because I would take time to research different foods to eat, different foods to avoid. I dug so deep. You guys have no idea how deep I dug to figure out how to get myself healthy. Or should we say healthy-ish, because it's sickle cell, so you know. But yeah, I will say that's a main thing that I learned there. And I wouldn't, like, that's why I would never, first of all, I don't live with regrets. So that's not the type of person I am, but I don't regret it one bit, because it taught me how to be stronger. It taught me how to bond more on a more interpersonal level, not just with myself, but with my child, and really dive deep and get to know not just myself, my child, in ways that would have never happened if we were living in a big city like California, where we're from, or even now. Like that could not happen the way that it happened there. So I could never regret it, because that is something that personally has taught me, and it grown me in such a way that it's priceless. It's honestly like there's nothing I can, there's no type of money I could have spent to get that anywhere else in the world. So that is one of the main reasons I won't regret it. And yeah, I think it was something that definitely made me stronger. It made me mentally just like, man, just I couldn't even, you can't fathom how much I really like spent time with myself and with God and with Nyla. And this is in the midst of all the other things that I do. I'm not counting anything I've done advocacy wise or career wise, none of that. I mean, it's not that it doesn't matter to me, because it does. But when it all boils down to it, at the end of the day, when I'm no longer here, the only thing that matters, the only real legacy that I've left, is my child. So, yes, I have a legacy of things that I've done, but none of that matters if my child, if she's not growing up to be the amazing person that she will be, right? Or is already and is going to be as an adult. Because I be on her like white on rice, and I don't care. This is why. All right. So the question is, okay, if everything was so good, if everything was so great and you learned so much and you were so at peace and love and unity and all the great stuff. How did we get here? How did we get to Nevada? How did we get to Life or Death series? Okay, so now here's the fun part. We're gonna unpack all that. What went wrong? Well, what went wrong for me, first and foremost, is I can do all the great things. I can fix my mental. I can meditate. I can pray. I can have all the things, the eating healthy. I can have it all the boxes checked. But at the end of the day, I still got to go to the hospital every now and again. That's still a reality for me. So I've never been the type of person that if I need a hospital, to avoid a hospital when I need to go. When I need to go, I go so I can get out. I'm trying to go in and come out. I'm not trying to be there forever because I done waited. No. I'm about to go. If once it gets to the point where I can't care for me, I can't care for my child, it's time to go. But it got to a point where things got so bad in the hospital that I didn't feel safe at all. At all. At all. There was a hospital that I could take Nyla with me to most of the time, yes. But that's the same hospital that almost killed me. They caused my arm to have a bruise. I think is it still bruised? This is almost a year now. Oh yeah, still bruised. Now you can it's a discoloration right here. I don't know if you can't see it because I'm not finna do all that. But yeah, it was terrible. It was very bad. It was to the point where when I left that hospitalization, I called a lawyer. I called a lawyer, not because, I'm finna win some money and I want some money and that. No, I called a lawyer because someone needed to hold them accountable for what they did. And the sad part about calling lawyers is that if you live, who cares? You're still alive. They want the person that they malpracticed and died. They don't want the person that's still here to tell the story. So, okay, can't hold them accountable in that sense, right? Because really, yeah, you can file the complaints and all that, which I did, but think about it. What really hits them? Money. Hitting their pockets would hurt. So that is why I wanted to do what I tried to do. Anyways, in doing that and no type of resolve happened, it was kind of like, mind you, this is something that I was still to the last time I was in a hospital having issues with my arm because it gave me clots. It was like couldn't use it. I was supposed to have surgery on my arm, on that very arm. Couldn't do it. So it prevented a lot of things unnecessarily. I could understand a mistake, but it was an unnecessary mess up in this situation. And not only that, the same hospitalization, there was so much drama, there was so much chaos, literally having to call the police on the driver to get me home because I had to leave and they left the IV in my arm. It was crazy. It was wild. It was something that's like, is this real? And when people become desensitized to treating you inhumanely, mind you, since that incident, I had not gone back to that hospital. I went back to that hospital one time since that happened. And that was last either August or September. So I went back to the hospital one time and I went to the ER and they wanted to admit me and I left because I was like, I'm gonna go to this other hospital to get admitted because the last time I needed a blood transfusion, y'all messed me up bad and I only got one more arm. So yeah. It was definitely something that mentally was hard to overcome. It was hard to get over that. And I processed it. But I think what was worse about that situation is that my daughter had to watch from start to finish that whole situation that I went through the entire time. And let me go to some comments for a second. And it was, something that, like, it's one thing to be mistreated and no one witnesses it. And it's a total nother thing to have your child have to watch you go through that. So, yeah. Hey y'all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Okay. So, let me keep going. When I said that they were desensitized to treating me inhumanely, they were. And it was unacceptable for me. So there was only one more hospital. And the crazy part is I had to go to that hospital. It wasn't like, oh, I can go to this other one here or that one over there. No, there were other hospitals, but the only hospital that can do my blood exchange was the other hospital that I was going to. And then they started with the crazy, okay? We're going to say crazy. We're going to say the crazy word. So I already banned one hospital in my head. That's the do not return hospital, right? Mind you, this is the hospital that my primary has rights as a hospitalist at. So they're managing to do this around the times that my doctor's not there, right? And then I have the hospital where my hematologist has rights at, which is where I get my blood exchanges. Now, this hospital starts tripping. And this was February. I don't know if you all remember, those of you who really follow me and know me, I posted a video on TikTok. And it's basically, to sum it up in so many words, it was me saying, if something happens to me, they did it and it's not an accident, because they were purposefully mistreating me, misdiagnosing me, not giving me proper pain management, not giving me proper anything. This is the time that literally a nurse told me, I'm a little black girl and they can kill me if I deny anything from them. Mind you, they were trying to give me fluids that would have made my kidneys bottom out, basically, would have just killed them. So I am actively telling them I cannot take this. This is something that would send my kidneys into failure. And they're like, oh no, well, we're going to diagnose you with diabetes. I do not have diabetes. And it was just crazy because I didn't, and mind you, the very same thing that I was telling them, they did not want to get a second opinion from a nephrologist. But when they finally did, guess what? The very thing I was telling them was the very thing that he said in his notes. So if they would have given me them fluids, it would have killed my kidneys. I already have kidney disease. I know what I'm talking about. Again, that's a part of knowing myself, getting to know me physically. I know what works, what doesn't work, what can't work, what cannot exist within me. So it's like, they're like, oh, we don't trust you, but you got to trust us. But actively lying the whole time. And so when the doctor comes in and asks me, are you unhappy with your treatment? And I told her the truth because yes, I am. Um, I don't know. She gave my case to somebody else, which I'm so glad she did that because the doctor that she gave the case to was amazing. She listened. She actually did what I asked her. We were working together. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I asked for. And so to go from that situation to feel like and to put it online. Like, yes, I put my life online a lot, but y'all have to understand mentally to basically accept that, oh my God, I may not make it out of here and I need somebody to know. Imagine where I had to place that when I left the hospital. I spent weeks in the hospital. Weeks. And that was around the time when I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is not healthy. This goes against everything that I've been about the past 5 years. I have people who they would get to the point where, hey, please go to the hospital. I was not going. No, Nyla, please go to the hospital, Mom. She would pack my bag. Not going. And I knew how dangerous that was, right? And then it's just like you have to carry that because what do you do with that? Like you feel stuck because you're hearing about other people who are losing their lives saying these hospitals are trying to kill me. And people are like, oh, yeah, I'm going to help you or whatever the case is. But then you see people lose their lives for this type of stuff. They do. It's an unfortunate fact. And I wasn't ready to die. I'm not ready to die. And I was getting to the point of knowing that there was only a short amount of time, a short window that I had to leave, or how many more times am I going to go to this hospital and go through this and deal with feeling like this might be my last hospital visit, right? So this is something that when you have a little girl looking at you, Mom, are you okay? What do you say? No, I'm not okay? No. And then I'm thinking, oh, my safe haven. When I get home, I'm good. All I got to do is get home. Then the managers at my apartment change, and I'm getting harassed by them. I'm not dressed coming down the stairs, and they're trying to force their way in my house. I'm very transparent about when I go to the hospital, usually with my managers. And before them, I've never had to worry. I always felt safer, like, okay, they know I'm in the hospital, I'm good. These particular set let themselves in knowing I was in the hospital, waited until I went to the hospital to do an inspection and left my electricity on, my air on, lights, fans, everything. TV, what you got the TV on for? So now I don't feel safe in my home or in the hospital. Where do you place that? What do you do? Right? I I'm have a real transparent moment right now. I've been going through severe depression since my mother died when I was 7. Feeling like What's the use? No one loves me. No one cares. I should just die since I was 7. Okay? Now, I will admit that from 2018, probably till this year, so let me just say, since 2018, since me being vocal about my struggle with depression, it kind of took the power away. And I somehow managed, God managed to help me through that. And I was feeling so great. Like, when I say severe depression, I mean, yeah, it might look like I'm fine. I can laugh. I'll make other people laugh. But inside, I'm dying. I'm drowning. I'm not okay. That is how I was since I was 7. Okay? From the time of my mother's death anniversary until my birthday the following year. Until February, my birthday month the following year. Then I would have from February to May to not be depressed. Then from May all the way to February again, I would be severely depressed. Losing my mother, my father, my grandmother, my grandfather was very hard. And I know people lose people all the time, but I'm being very transparent about my story right now and my struggle and what I went through. And truthfully, like I said, I had finally got a handle on it. Things were great. I would deal with more so my anxiety than my depression. Um, but after, like I said, last August or September, when I went to that hospitalization, that's when it started to, like, my mental was like challenged. That place I was in was challenged. And for a while I did hang on. I did, you know, keep it cool and consistent. But when I had things coming at me every which way, right? Every which way, at home, at the hospital, everything was chaos. And I had worked so hard for peace. And everything started going haywire again. I was like, okay, whoa, hold on, wait a minute, because now I started feeling like, what's the use? For what? Why even fight anymore? And a lot of people is like, oh, of course, Nyla, of course. Let me tell you something. Nyla sometimes is the only reason I fight, because that's how down I would get on myself. So, being transparent, yes, it was a mental struggle. And don't get me wrong, yes, I'm a very strong person. I can take a lot. I will give someone the best advice when I'm going through pure hell in my life. And I will do it so genuinely. Some people will never know the type of stuff that I'm going through. So I'm sitting here and I'm telling you all, I was not okay. I was not okay. It was life or death. So when you see that flyer, that obituary, it could have been real. It could have been real. It could have been the end. But God, see, when I was too weak for myself, and this is what I learned most of all, There's no problem too big for God. There's nothing too big for God. Nothing. So the things that I feel like I can't carry it, it's too much for me, right? It is. I cannot give it to nobody but God. Can't nobody fix it but God. Do you understand? So, no, I was not doing what I did for attention. No, I was not trying to give people shock value. No, I was not trying to pull people's sympathy card because that is just a fact. It's just a fact. And if it scared you when you saw that obituary flyer, that's exactly how I felt every day. Every single day. That fear, the, your stomach drops, you don't understand. You, you're trying to process something, but you're not quite sure what's going on. Yeah. And I don't know why I was supposed to post it, but I feel like I'm starting to understand now because that's really how I felt. I felt that way. I was so scared. I was so scared. So everything started going from bad to worse. And it was fight or flight. And sometimes it's good to fight, but you got to choose your battles wisely. Yeah, I could have, let's stick it to everybody that's doing wrong. This ain't right. That ain't right. But would I leave with my life if I had stayed there and fought? Probably not. So it was life or death. That move that I just did was life or death. I spent every penny, every cent. I spent other people's pennies. Like, I'm telling you, to get out of that situation, I did. So when, if and when you ever go through something like that, I pray to God that you never, ever, nobody ever experienced that. Because I know what it feels like. And I never want anybody to go through that. But I know the sad truth is there are so many sickle cell patients, especially, that go through the very same thing I was going through. And a lot of them didn't get to move the way that I did. A lot of them are still in their situation. A lot of them didn't make it. And this, I am living, breathing proof that I am not, when I say I'm not special, I mean, if I did it, you can do it. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. It's not cheap. It's not cheap, but it's not impossible. And I think that if we shared our stories more in this sense, in the light of like this light, more help could be available to us because maybe this is something a lot of people do know about, but very few do something about it. Very few. So, and it's hard to admit things. It's hard to admit, dang, I don't have it all together. It's hard to admit, especially if you are somebody in the community that uses their voice. Like, everybody, a lot of people, they always assume I have it all together. People assume things and they ask me to borrow money, and I could be down to my last, and if I got it and if it's a valid reason, I'm going to give it, right? But, and I know that's crazy, but that's the thing. Sometimes God will use you to help his children. Sometimes you're like, dang, I know I didn't even got it like that. Why am I doing this? It's because God needs you to do it. That's why. God needs you to do it. Now, I have been very transparent. Let me read some comments. I had to. I'm not ignoring y'all. I had to get it out because to be that transparent is kind of like, you know. Don't get me wrong. I'm a very honest person, but I don't be having people all up in my business like that. But I love y'all, so understand this was done out of love. Yeah, yeah, not giving the right fluids. We don't always look like what we're going through. Exactly. Exactly. And here's the thing about me. I could be going through hell, but baby, you ain't gonna never catch me looking like it. Like, I'm not going to stay in that spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's just not who I am. I am not, because the only thing that's constant is change. The only thing other than death that's promised to us is change. Nothing good lasts forever, nothing bad lasts forever. So a storm that you're going through right now, it's not gonna last. Those good times, hey, don't shoot the messenger, but it ain't gonna last, okay? And I'm not saying it to jinx anybody. I'm saying it because it's true. It has the unfortunate fact of being true. So I always look forward to the present and the future because every moment I get is a gift. The next moment I get is a gift. So I plan for that. But you never know because things happen. But I'm just grateful that I was able to come and share this because I'm telling you, God was wearing me out. He was like, listen, lady, hey, wasn't nobody but me that got you there. And I'm gonna give all glory to God. The only way I got from Texas to Nevada is God. If I really broke down, and I will, it's a series, so give it some time. I'm really gonna break down how it happened. And when you have faith plus works, it's nothing. It's nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Now, I do these series, I do this advocacy, I do creative things to help people, to give back, to show how much I care, to try to create some sort of change in this community, some sort of change in my life. And again, like I said earlier, let me know when that is appreciated because I'm human, right? Like if I don't get people actually saying, "Oh yeah, good live." I mean, you don't have to, like I said, you could just say, "Hey, I didn't really like the subject, but I appreciate you being consistent." Hey, or you ain't been consistent, but you come out with some bangers. Hey, call a spade a spade. I ain't never mad at that, okay? But truthfully, I need that reassurance that, okay, people are listening, people are paying attention, people need this because I don't want to feel like I'm just talking and no one's receiving what I'm saying. And I appreciate you all for being here, for commenting. Please feel free to share because this is for somebody or this is for a lot of people and I don't even know. We don't know that yet. No one knows but God. That's why he wants me to do this. Um, See, exactly. That's what I'm saying, Cassie. It's not even registering to people how hard Like, people think the worst thing that happens to us is sickle cell. I've never, like, compared to my life, sickle cell is like, I got sickle cell figured out. You know what I'm saying? Sickle cell rarely surprises me. That don't mean I need it surprising me. Okay, chill out. But I'm just saying, sickle cell is as unpredictable as it is. It's predictable because I've lived in this body for 33 years. So there is very few things that I don't know about it at this point. But life, though, hey, life, that be getting me. I be like, whoa, I don't want no smoke. I'm just here for a good time. Okay? Yeah, yeah. A lot of times that's the case. They forget that we go through life. Sickle cell is the sickle cell, you know? Life be jumping you. Life, bills. Listen, I'm struggling. Okay? I knew that was going to happen because I knew in order to get me out of that situation, I was going to have to take a hit somewhere. Financially, okay, I'll take the hit. It's worth my life, right? Money comes and goes. I can't replace my life. So I am going to post my Cash App in case anybody wants to donate to the Shabreon is Broke Fund. I'm laughing, but I'm so serious. And y'all know, like, I don't, but just know, if you do decide to donate from your heart, it could be $1. I don't care. I appreciate it, but it's at a point where anything will help. One, and two, right now I can't do the things I would like to do advocacy wise for, I'm sorry, for the kids. And that's really a special place in my heart, the kids group. And for me to be here and admit this, hey, that's big. Y'all don't understand. Somebody could go play lottery right now because I got pride. Your girl got pride. So if I'm sitting here and I'm admitting that, that really means, like, you know, hey, everybody go through something sometimes, and everybody needs a little help sometime. And if I get help, great. If not, I know my blessing is on the way. So, listen, y'all know me. I'm an hour kind of girl, an hour kind of girl. So I'm gonna comment the Cash App, and I'll post the link. I'm sorry, the QR code. Y'all know I am. This is how y'all know I don't be asking for nothing, because I'm like, link. Listen, God is good. I will be back next Friday. Come hell or high water, I'ma be here, baby. Don't worry, because this series, I am just getting started. I love y'all so much. Y'all have no idea. From the most special place in my heart, I truly do. I truly do. Um, with that being said, y'all, I'm about to go because I have things I need to do. And again, you guys can stay on a little longer to get the QR code. I'll put it up now. And then, or you can go to the, you know, I'll put it, y'all know what I'm trying to say. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I don't even know how to ask money. As always, I love y'all. And please like, share, comment. Please support, understand that this is something from my heart, and I'm not doing it with ill intentions, ill will, none of that. I'm literally doing it from my heart, being obedient to God. So, with that being said, I'm gonna leave y'all with my positive words of wisdom, and that is start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Until next time, folks, peace.